Oh, ho, ho. Hey, here we are, folks. That's right. It's your man Adolphus A.D. Moore, the man with the DPS glasses on. I guess it's shooter's glasses on. That's my good friend, compatriot, and partner in crime, Elwin Henderson. Elwin's on the road, Hammer, after we both just watched the Houston Texans take the sweep of the Indianapolis Colts. Remember, the Texans defeated the Colts first game of the season, and now up in Lucas Oil Field, and now they're back and completed the sweep today. Texas defeated the Indianapolis Colts 23-20 today. You could say the game was as close as what the score indicated. That's normally the typical NFL game, but this was a game with some big plays on both sides of the ball. I think that and the Texans, here's the deal. They rebounded from the loss against the Green Bay Packers this past week. A game I probably, even though with all the I think they should have won the game, but they didn't. So that's behind it. That's old news now. But they got another winning streak, and they're gonna need it. They're gonna need all the momentum going because they got some injuries after this game, and they got to play Thursday night on Prime TV. So they got basically the Texans have one day to get ready. They got tomorrow. They'll come watch the film and then they'll go do a little quick walkthrough. They travel Wednesday, so they really basically have one day of preparation. I'm pretty sure last week they've already done some preparations, Elwin. So, but the Texans took care of the Indianapolis Colts today. Your initial thoughts and comments on the Texans, then we'll get down into the to the nitty gritty of the game.
Well, just like you said, I thought it was huge, and I asked D'Amico Ryans as well as C.J. Stroud how big it was. They both admitted it was very big because we knew coming into this game that the Texans had a one-game lead over the Colts. And if they had lost the game, we knew it was going to be tight, just like it was. If they'd lost it, they would have been tied for the division lead after 8 games, after almost half of the season now. But with that win, that gives them a 2-game lead minimum over the Colts, which is the team in second place behind them. So you cannot talk about how important and how big a win this was. And of course, what made it even sweeter was the fact of that presentation to Andre Johnson at halftime of his Hall of Fame ring. Yeah, that just made it even that more special.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't. In fact, none of the. I will have some of the Andre Johnson ring ceremony probably out on my social media sites.
It's on my Facebook page. Both his press conference that he did for us,
right,
and the entire halftime ceremony is already on my Facebook page.
Yeah, his pre-conference is already out there. We know he met with the media today prior to the game. So yeah, I got it on. It was on my on X, Twitter. AdMax AD _more 64. It's also on my Instagram page, the AdMax Corner, which rolls into my Facebook page. So those are out there where we met with Andre earlier today. Comments I had, and all of those are out there. Yeah, I think it was all in all. And what's unique about the Texas Ring of Honor, you have Robert C. McNabb, founder, and then the Ring on Andre Johnson, and now they've added that logo, that Pro Football Hall of Fame signature, along up there with J.J. Watt's number 99. So J.J.'s got unless he decides to come back and stops the clock, he has about another 4 years because I figure he'll be a first ballot Hall of Famer coming in.
Oh, yeah.
But those guys are retired. They're done. JJ's making his money sitting up on CBS. But let's go ahead and just break this thing down today. CJ Stroud, and here's the thing about it. Stephon Diggs went out with a knee injury today. And I'll be completely frank with you. I would be remotely, stunningly surprised. I'm not saying that things move in mysterious ways, but I don't expect Stephon Diggs to be playing Thursday night because the Texans have to got a quick turnaround. They have to play the New York Jets up at MetLife Stadium in Jersey. I think that's the way they say it, in Jersey. Jersey. Yeah, they'll be playing in Jersey on Thursday night. But today, let's talk about the fact that the Texans and Anthony Richardson, and like I say, there was a lot of some big plays, but because Anthony, the coach tried to bring it to the day.
Yeah.
They the Texans. I mean, the coach hit a big 69-yard pass from Anthony Richardson to Downs, and I'm gonna tell you something. He was so freaking wide open
Oh,
that
yeah.
I'm going like, wait a minute. I think NRG Stadium. I know it's in Harris County. It looked like he was in Fort Bend. He was so far open, so wide open, and I don't. It was a busted coverage, but Texas, they rebounded from it.
Yep.
Jonathan Taylor today, the running back for the Jonathan Taylor, 20 carries, 105 yards. They averaged about 5.3 yards a carry. Not bad. But Joe Mixon, again, and hey man, you can't say enough about what his presence means behind that offensive line and the way they blocked today. They gave up a couple of sacks, but Mixon today, 25 carries, 102 yards, and he averaged about 4.1 yard a carry. But that 14-yard, he had a 14-yard touchdown run today. Really, it was a thing of beauty. In fact, it was a very robust. And I call it a Rough Rider run because he was hurting people on the way to the goal line today. When Joe Mixon ran with some. He ran mad today. He ran like he had an attitude today, and it showed. And I think as far as the offensive line, no, everything's still not going well. But you know what? No, there's no such thing as a perfect game, and we would like to say that it's going to be a perfect game, but in fact, I'm gonna let Joe talk about that. Let him talk about that run, this touchdown run today. And see, we can get him to the stage. And let's see, where is he? Come on, Joe.
Scheme. I'm going to blocking the ass off, and fortunately, I was able to crease and cut back, step with a great block, and I finished it in the zone. So that's how we did it.
Yeah, as somebody may not be used to the refined language that Joe used about describing it today, but no, when he made and here's the thing about it, Elvin, and having talked to the offensive lineman, you don't have to do a whole. I mean, all you have to do is give Joe Mixon a crease, and
that's all he
like
needs.
I said, that's all he needs, a crease, and he gets up in there. And not only does he gets up in there, he plants that foot, gets up in there, and he gets away. In fact, as I mentioned earlier, I think I stated that was a Rough Rider run that he had on going away to the goal line today. He delivered some punishment today. This is you got to make up your mind. Do you want to tackle Joe Mixon once he gets into that secondary? And even coming through the line of scrimmage. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's some linebackers and some linemen that once he gets ahead of steam, you got to want to make up your mind. Do you want to tackle this young man or not? Because he runs with a case of abandonment. He runs. He run to hurt you. Let me just put it like that.
He runs with authority.
That's being nice. He runs.
Say what kind of authority?
Yeah. Okay. Well all right. Yeah.
He runs with I'm gonna run all over your ass. Authority is the authority.
Yeah. He
looked like a defender out there.
You know what? I remember playing when we had when the cleats we used to have metal tips on them. Of course, they got the molded cleats because on the synthetic surfaces they run on.
Right.
But I remember if Nixon runs when he plants the foot, it's like he's just trying to plant it, like he's trying to give you a proctoral exam. Let me put it. I'll clean it up like that. It's like he's trying to give you a proctoral exam because he runs with an abandonment that's hard, and he delivered a shot. He delivered a shot in I think in that second quarter on a DB, and I'm going like, yeah, well, you know what? You probably not going to want to make that tackle in the fourth quarter because that's to me that's the way he
Yep.
plays. He say, all right, you see me now, but I want to know, are you going to still come with me at that same abandonment in the fourth quarter? And as I stated, you better have your mind made up. Do you want to tackle this young man in the fourth quarter, Elwin?
And besides that, something I've noticed: how many running backs at any level, high school, college, NFL, have torn the Achilles or broken an ankle, planting that rear ankle down, and then trying to make a cut. That's the difference in Joe Mixon and a lot of the other running backs. He plants the front of his foot, not his heel. And when he plants the front, he can turn on a dime and tilt and go in a totally opposite direction and nothing flat. That's why I think he's so successful and why he is such a punishing runner.
Yeah, you make a good point and a good evaluation about because normally folks are playing that back foot, but normally he can get up and he can plant and pivot off that lead foot, and it's some I mean, he's a unique talent. He's a very unique running back, and I think it did so far up until this point, he's paid dividends for this Texans. The trade this trade has proven to pay dividends today.
It's been huge.
Yeah. CJ Stroud rebounded from last week. I think his lowest performance of the season. He no interceptions today. He was sacked a couple of times, but CJ finished today. CJ finished today 25 of 37, 285 yards, one touchdown pass. And that was to Tank Dell. About a 99.5 quarterback rating today. And as I stated, he was sacked. He was sacked a couple of times today. But the coach obviously saw the film last week from the Packers and some of the little intricate blitz packages that they had employed on the Texans up in Green Bay. And for a little bit, I started to say, okay. People have shared the film and watched everything, but I think for the most part, the Texans' offensive line, from the run blocking standpoint, and even from a pass blocking standpoint, they kept CJ. And let's face it, I noticed in the first quarter, second quarter, some of his passes were a little bit erratic, and I think he was probably looking at the rush. But I think he settled down. I think the offensive line settled down. And I think once everybody settled down and they start picking up on some of those packages and the communication issues that they had today, but I think the one thing that made this thing I think the run game today helped slow down a lot of what the coach was trying to do and what they had presented. Some of the packages, the pressure packages that they had presented, at least from looking from last week. So. I think that the offensive, the run blocking today, I think answered a lot of questions and abated some of that rush today. That CJ finally settled down quite a bit today, Elwin. And I think for the most part, and I got a clip here because I did ask D'Amico about it, and the fact that CJ, let's face it, Nico Collins gone, Stephon Diggs left. Obviously, your only starting receiver is Tank Dell. Tank just come back. And so now you got you got the utilization of the tight end today. This game here. I think basically they introduced the tight ends, Cade Stover and Schultz. They introduced the tight ends to the rest of the league today because heretofore we hadn't seen too much of the tight ends getting a lot of action, but the tight ends today got quite a few balls thrown that direction, and even. Targeted. They were targeted quite well today, Schultz and Stover. And so moving forward, and I'm pretty sure that if, obviously Nico Collins not playing Thursday, I seriously doubt Stephon's going to play. The tight ends, both tight ends, I
Yep.
think, gonna have to be an integral part of what we're gonna see coming up for Thursday. I think Xavier
Yep.
Hutchinson and between Xavier Hutchinson and Mixon. I mean, not Joe Mechie. Yeah,
Mechie.
Joe Mechie. I think those guys. I'm going to put it like this. I'm expecting both of those guys to come up and have some meaningful targets and meaningful catches today. In fact, Joe
Yep.
Mechie was targeted 4 times and had 3 receptions today, and I think they're going to have to play a bigger role. And here's the situation: who the soft? I mean, I think right now, taking into consideration this being the New York Jets, I'm thinking who's Sauce Gardner, the Jets lockdown corner. Who's he going to be assigned to? So that's going to be an interesting thing because if Diggs not there,
It will be.
yeah. It's going to be what are they going to do? That are they going to have Sauce Gardner probably floating, or is he just going to try to line up on Tank and probably going to have Tank all over the field? So that's going to be interesting. That's why I say it's going to be paramount to that the tight ends Stover and Schultz probably come big, and Xavier Hutchinson and Joe Mechie come big this coming Thursday. But like I say, it's almost like you sort of got to take this game in quick doses, Elvin. But the Texans today had 5 sacks. That was big. That was big today.
Yes, definitely.
That was big today, Elvin. With the pressure and everything they got up front.
It was huge, and it did a lot of good. I think for the team as well as the fans to see that they did correct so much from that Green Bay game. Now, we've talked about it a little bit already, but man, it is going to be rough having to turn around and play again in just 4 days because Aaron Rodgers is going to be madder, as that old saying goes, up in East Texas, than an old wet hen because of their loss to the Patriots today, who had only won 1 game. You know that Rodgers is better than a 2-win team, but there's no doubt he is going to come with a vengeance-minded personality when he hits that field. And if we hadn't seen a lot of improvement today from last Sunday, I would have really been worried about Thursday night, but it still scares me.
Well, he has his wide receiver back. This is not the Aaron Rodgers of 2 or 3 years ago.
No.
Okay. Now, yeah, is he still? He can still be a dangerous person out there. But you know what? With the pursuit, with the dogmatic pursuit, as the Texans, if they have a 5-sack game Thursday night against Aaron Rodgers, Danielle Hunter, Settles. Will Anderson Jr. and the like, and Tim Settles, and those guys. If they come bringing the heat like they brought today against Anthony Richardson, be quite candid with you, and I'm not worried about it. And I'm gonna tell you, here's a key that I think coming up. Just watching this game. Devin White, who only came in. Devin White he hadn't been here a full week yet, and he had sizable snaps. He contributed quite well today, because he had been sitting home. He had been cut loose from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Super Bowl title behind his name, and he has as I stated, he's a Super Bowl winning linebacker. He came in because Aziz is still out, Henry To'oTo'o is still out, and the fact that Hunter, the rest of the linebacking core was starting to thin out a little bit, and so he came in, and I thought he had some very good, played some very good downs and had some very good snaps and everything today. So that's to me something to look forward to, come Thursday night. Jalen
Yep.
Petrie. Now, and D'Amico said this in his presser. He said for about the last 3 weeks, he said Jalen Petrie has probably played some of the best football he's seen in his entire career, and he sort of have him in as I would call it in a robber baron type because they got him up toward the line of scrimmage, and you know what? Let me tell you something. I think he's found his niche. I think and the thing about it, by being up there, I think he's in. And let me put it like this, and since we've already talked about, since you brought the country analogy of Aaron Rodgers being mad like a wet hen, he's taken to that robber baron about like a hog in slop, man. I know.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, we done covered it with the yard birds and the pigs today, hadn't we?
Hey, so I know some folks out there probably going like, what are they talking about? I thought we were going to have a recap on the Texans and the Indianapolis Colts, and we're talking about wet hens and hogs and slop and stuff. I don't understand that. Yeah, you do. Just keep listening in. We're the Renaissance men. We'll take you all the way to the front, then take you all the way back. But anyway, no, I think Petrie today, and like I said, as I mentioned earlier, D'Amico Ryans is giving him his accolades, but about how strong he's been, particularly these last 3 weeks, and what he's meant to this team. But Danielle Hunter, and I want to get a quick shout out to Danielle Hunter because Danielle, and I told him, I said, look, I'm gonna use your terminology of cutting, just because Will Anderson had a 3-sack day the prior week, prior to that, and so and I asked him what he thought about it. He told him, I just told the young man to keep chopping wood, and that's the way I sort of. But I'm gonna let Danielle talk about this one.
Y'all kept chopping wood today and got a victory. So and you got 2 sacks out of this thing from being a wood chopper today. So how'd it go?
I mean, it went as planned. I mean, we went out there, we just kept going as a defense, offense, and special teams. Complementing football. We made some mistakes, but we finished in the end with the W.
The nail is so he's very understated, to say the least. But I enjoy talking to him, especially when not a mic, just having a conversation with him. But I think he has been a world of good to Will Anderson Jr. By him being here.
Oh yeah.
I think Will Anderson has he has helped step in. The talent that Will Anderson Jr. has possessed and has displayed. I think he has helped step his game up even more so by what the knowledge and everything, because he's coming in and bringing in a premier pass rusher and the technique, not only just being a pass rusher, but understanding the techniques, the philosophy, and understanding how to play and how to just a pro being a pro, and not to say that Will Anderson is not a pro, but when you got a guy of his magnitude and his stature and ilk, and Will just has soaking everything up that he's telling them. So it really bodes well, man, for to have him there. But like I say, I know last week in Green Bay, I know, and conversations I had with him last week, I know a couple of times they just flat out they were just lassoing him, and Coach. No, they didn't call a hole, and he and I talked about it. He said, that's football. But you know what? I put it like this: if they couldn't see a Sam Donald face mask, I don't know what else to tell you. But that's a story over there.
Yeah,
that's a story of a different ilk. But Texas today again, folks. Texas defeat the Indianapolis Colts 23-20. They up by a couple of games on all the rest of the rivals in the AFC South. By the way, if you have not subscribed to the Ad Max Corner YouTube channel. Please do so. Like and subscribe. If you're on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel, like and subscribe to both, folks. We're working hard. We appreciate it. Even the negative comments that come my way. Of course, I'll be candid with you, and I'll tell you if there's some negative comments, and I appreciate them because we can only get better from doing this and making this presentation week in and week out. So, bottom line, Elwin, I know you. Let me see. Where are you now? You should be up. You got past. Have you got to Lufkin yet? Not quite.
No, I'm not. I'm not to Lufkin yet, but I'm not but about 15 miles from Lufkin. So
yeah, I was pretty good. I'm timing that. I made that East Texas.
You're pretty doggone good.
Yeah, I know. Well, I done made that East Texas run before. Now, don't So I've had to come up 59 now.
I have too.
Well, hell yeah, I know. That goes without saying, duh. But yeah, I can pretty well, depending on where we pick you up at. Tell you what, let's as we get ready to wrap this up. Your final comments on the Texans and let you have the road and let you get down and concentrate on the road and possibly what we might can expect Thursday out of the Texans because they have a very short turnaround week.
Yeah. Well, I think the fact that they bounced back like they did today, and I think they still had a little bit of a hangover in that first quarter from the Green Bay game. I think that's what was affecting CJ, probably what was affecting the line a little bit. But like you said, they got it put back together. They got it straightened out. That's bound to have been a B12 injection shot for them for the confidence. So I think that's huge. And despite the fact that Aaron Rodgers is going to be upset because they lost to the lowly Patriots, there's no doubt the Texans by far are the better team, even without Nico and even without Stephon, because like you said, we're utilizing the tight ends now. I thought, honestly, especially Dalton Schultz had the best game probably he's had since he came to the Texans from the Cowboys. And I think they're going to, like you mentioned, continue to use the tight ends. They can use them just like wide receivers. Yeah, really, Tank is about the only deep threat we got at the moment. But those two tight ends can move. They can get down the field, and we can almost use them like wide receivers on shorter routes. So I don't think against the Jets, I don't think it's going to be anything that they can't overcome and do a good job of. Like I say, I'm a little concerned about the short turnaround against them, but at the same time, I'm confident, just like you are, that the Texans will find a way to win that game and go to 7-2. And there, that's another quick final thought of mine. It doesn't seem like it's been 2 weeks since we started this season, and we're already halfway through. Where is the time gone again this year?
Yeah. And you know what? It's interesting because I went back and looked at the schedule, because some teams are already in that had their bye weeks. Texans still, yes. I mean, no, here's the unique thing about it. This will sort of be like a semi-bye week by them playing on Thursday. Exactly. They won't play again, I think, until next Sunday night.
Yeah, the 10th of November.
Yeah,
10th of November in that Sunday night game.
Yeah, they get the New York Jets behind them. Then they'll play a Sunday night. They'll play the NBC Sunday night game against the Detroit Lions, and that should be a whale of a game. Cause you know what? Yep. I'm not trying to put the cart before the horse. Another farm reference, but the thing about let's enjoy this victory.
Yep.
Let's take it for what it's worth. I know like Tim Sellers. I was messing with Tim Sellers walking in the locker room now, and like I say, hey, we're gonna take this victory for what it's worth. Because tomorrow they got to come in, which normally would have been their off day. Well, Tuesday would have been their off day tonight. They got to come in, film study in the morning, implement the sort of probably do a walkthrough tomorrow. Then Wednesday they on the plane. So this is gonna be a survival of the fittest, and I think this is when a guy like Devin White, because he mentioned it talking to the press today, that he's going to have to come in here, and he's basically been sitting home waiting, and these guys roughly had training camp and they got 8 weeks of football behind him, and so he needs to come in here and try to play catch up mentally. I think he's ready. I think this will probably be a good game. This will be a good time for this young man, particularly from a defensive side, with the snaps he got, the snaps that he was able to have today. In fact, he almost sack that was credited to Tim Settle. He basically, I almost thought they probably should have split that sack between Settle.
I think it should have been a half a piece.
But because like he stated, I hit him, but I think Tim he was still moving, so Tim finally covered him up, and he was credited with a whole sack. So right. But you got to give Devin White his credit that he did set it up and made it possible for Tim Sells to get his sack and get everything in there.
Yep.
Final points, young man, and then I'm gonna cut you loose and let you go flying up and down 69-59 till you get on back to Gilmer, man.
Well, just proud of the fact that the Texans didn't let the loss against Green Bay stay in their head. They did what every coach says you got to do at every level. You forget about that game, you move forward. They obviously did that, got that done, and just excited to know that they could move to 7-2 with a win in 4 days, and then have 10 days to exhale a little bit, because as you know, that bye week comes way down the road still. What is like week 14 or 15? It's still a ways off.
It's week 14. It's week 14. So they still got about 3 more weeks, I believe. Yeah, I think it is about 3 more weeks before they get to the bye week. Yeah, Elwin, hey, appreciate you, bro. As always, man. Be careful. And right before I shut it down, I'm gonna have a quick comment from D'Amico Ryan on CJ and his input. So, in fact, I'll go ahead and do that now, and then I'll go ahead and cut you loose. Let's see. Where are we?
All right. Well, I appreciate it, man. As always, go Texans.
All right. It seemed like there was no drop off, because he just seemed like some guys got open, and he was hitting the guys that was getting open, and that progression and his maturation is just something astonishing now.
Yeah, it's very impressive to watch. CJ as a young quarterback. I talk about his calmness, I talk about his confidence, but it truly goes back to what I said earlier about it's our entire team. It's just about executing, right? The plays that are called, being where we're supposed to be, and it doesn't matter who's the guy. He's not staring down one person. He's going through his progression. He's making the proper reads, and he's taking the guys that are open. It doesn't matter who it is, and it just goes to his vision, right? And when we have protection and him being able to make accurate throws all across the field. So, and can't say enough great things about CJ and how he's continuing to grow as a quarterback. That's one.
Yep, that was head coach D'Amico Ryan's talking about, to say CJ bounced back from last week, and they only had 83 yards, 84 yards passing. It was off night. I mean, this happens to everybody in the league, but he bounced back today, and I'm gonna tell you, it'll be interesting to see the matchup between CJ and Aaron Rodgers. I mean, the old vet probably on his way out. Yeah, I'm pretty sure on his way out. And the new heir to the throne, and and let's see what he can do. But anyway, folks, as I'm about to get out of here, as I say, I'm sitting here high atop the NRG Stadium. The sun slowly is setting and settling in on the west side of the stadium. You can see nice golden silhouettes that's being projected through the glass on the east side of the stadium. But this is your man, Adolphus A.D. Moore, getting ready to sign off as, again, the Houston Texans defeat the Indianapolis Colts 23-20. Texans go up 2-0, 2 games on everybody else in the AFC South. They take on a quick turnaround. They got the New York Jets in MetLife Stadium Thursday night on Amazon Prime game. So we'll look to be on the air sometime after that, recapping that game. And as I stated earlier, if you have not subscribed and liked the AdMax Corner, please do so. If you have not subscribed and liked the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel, as well as my Facebook page, which you will receive, please do so. And as I get ready to go, I guess I can finish my country western, ride off into the sunset. As Elwin is riding down to the sunset, he's going east. I'll go west, and we'll look to hook up with you Thursday night as the Texans from MetLife Stadium in Jersey, in New Jersey, Jersey, however they want to call it. Texans will be taking on the New York Jets. Without further ado, folks, I'm out. Peace, ciao. We done, and I'm going to the sunset.